What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Black Barbershop. It's your boy Gotti, and I'm in here with my nigga Ace. What's the deal, my nigga Ace?
What's the deal? It's the best barber in all Atlanta. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Black Barbershop.
Man, so we got a lot to talk about today. First of all, what we post on our page is basically what do women bring to the table. That's something that we are going to be talking about. I know a lot of women going to say, oh yeah, y'all just want to start women bashing. We was trying to get a woman to come tonight. She didn't come tonight, but we going to talk about what we want to talk about, because that's really why I posted that. I think men get the opportunity tonight to hear what they always wanted to hear out of niggas' mouths.
I think it's probably pretty cool though.
Yeah,
it's just us.
It's just us, and then we're going to talk about some real shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to go into who needs a lineup. I got some interesting topics tonight. The first topic is we actually got a young man in the store that was getting, I guess he had some negative slurs said to him that was racial, and a woman was actually spraying some soda on him, and he dropped her ass. So I'm only saying that to say, in this scenario, bro, what do you think is really like the right way to go about that? When you're actually getting aggravated by a woman and people are around, it's a lot going on, bro. Like, people don't understand that men are human. It's a lot going on. You getting aggressively, I guess you can say abused, right? Because that's what it is. She's putting soda on you. She's verbally assaulting you. And then she comes towards you. So what should you do, bro? It's a white woman too, and it's a black man.
I'm a firm believer in instant karma.
Right.
So, like, whatever you give out and whatever you put into the atmosphere, if you putting disrespect out in the atmosphere, I feel like you need to get disrespected right back. So, I'm definitely not giving the nigga lineup whatever he had to do to handle his business. She was spraying water on the nigga, whatever.
She was pouring soda on my
handle yours. Do what you got to do to humiliate her, because I feel like women should know not to go there with a man, like, you feel me? Especially if you know you can't whoop his ass.
Right.
It's just some boundaries that you're not supposed to cross. So, like, humiliating him and disrespecting him, I feel like that's something that shouldn't happen. And he got his get back, you know what I'm saying?
I personally feel like it was wrong for him to hit her like that, because he, like, dropped her ass. Mm-hmm. Like, he hit her with a one piece, like, boom, she fell on the ground, held her head. Everybody, instigated, made it worse. You know how black people are.
They should have picked her ass up. Yeah. They should have had a stretcher ready for her.
Nah, but I think the craziest part about that is in that scenario, and a woman's throwing soda on you like that, and I know that you might have your pride and your morals and everything going on at that moment, but you got to go back and you really got to listen to yourself and say, is it worth it? Because at the same time, when she was doing that, he had opportunity to walk away in a reference of saying, like, he could have moved faster for her not to get towards him.
There was a lot of people out there.
But you don't know what kind of day he was having.
I don't know what kind of day, but I'm saying,
soda.
but look, it's two things that I'm gonna sit on, and I sit on as a man. That's somebody's daughter, and you wouldn't want somebody to put your hands on a woman in your family. I stand on those two morals on the reasons why I don't put my hands on women. I don't have no problem with a man, and I'm saying this.
But they gotta be taught too, though, bro.
They do, but I'm saying with the most respect, because I really want niggas to understand this. I'm okay with you restraining a woman, putting your hands around her, or taking her hand and putting it to her back to a point where she's able to get pushed away and you can run away. But I don't condone hitting women. That's just me, though.
Okay, let me speak on this, because I don't condone hitting women either. I never physically, like, put my hands on a woman or, like, threw a punch, right?
Right.
But what we have to understand, and this is what women have to understand, every nigga is raised different. You don't know if he grew up in a household where he was seeing a man put his hands on a woman. You get what I'm saying? So that can traumatize you. I mean, not necessarily traumatize you, but it can put you in a mind frame to where you might think that this type of activity is okay. Right. So you can't walk around thinking that every nigga know how to restrain himself or restrain you.
You're not lying about that. You know what I'm saying? You're not lying about that. But I'm only saying that to say, like, for men that are listening, you feel me? Like, if you don't have something that you stand on when it comes to that, you need to find something. Because I know there's something that happened to me, and I'm surprised I didn't hit a woman. What I really did was calm myself down more. I got spit on in my face.
Ooh.
And I think that that's something that I really took to heart. I don't never, ever forget that moment in my life. But I'm only saying that to say, like, when it happened to me, I remember one thing that my grandpa told me from a young age. He said, you're never supposed to put your hand on a woman, but the thing is, you want to make sure you have morals that you stand on. I had a daughter at the time. I'm like, damn, you know, I know you gotta raise your daughter right, but I would never want nobody to hit my daughter with the power of a man. Secondly, I don't want no woman in my family to get hit by a man. So why would I put my hands on her regardless of the situation? But I understand that there are moms out there, there are men out there that's going to say that's over the top disrespectful, put your hands back on her. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't because I still have my morals. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And you got niggas that out here that do got morals, and you know what I'm saying? Those are going to be the people that restrain the women. Those are the people that's not going to take it there. Those are going to be the dudes that's going to try to defuse it.
That's just so disrespectful.
But like I said, you got some niggas out here that's real savages and they don't care. Like, they put their hands on their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So
we don't line her ass up though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you can't go there with nobody that you can't whoop their ass, even if it was a female.
Yeah, but you know what I saw in that video that I put myself in a scenario? First of all, she white. Secondly, I thought that it was very just stupid of him to do that when he know cameras was around. And then thirdly, I felt like he shouldn't have punched her. You know, I felt like he could have did some other force of whatever he needed to do, but he dropped her, bro, and she wasn't even like swinging at him. She was just throwing soda at him, and he dropped her. So those three things I thought was out of the ordinary. But I'm still gonna line her ass up because she shouldn't have did that shit. Bro, he got arrested too. They just posted his picture.
Really?
Let's just line both of them up.
Yeah, he got arrested for aggravated assault. I mean, just assault. I hope she got.
But didn't she like?
Yeah, she aggravated those situations, but you know he put his hands on her, so you know how that go.
I don't know.
All right, second conversation, which I think is very important. We just was watching it. Joe Budden. He canceled his two niggas. It was Rory and what's the other nigga name? Maul. He canceled these niggas. He told these niggas, look, bro, the energy ain't there. Y'all niggas trying to get money off me and y'all don't deserve it. Y'all fired. There's two things I want to talk about this.
They was accusing him of
taking money
taking money.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about two things that I think is very important, and I want to know how you feel about it as a business person and as a friend. If me and you were actually going to just go out the blue and blow up on this podcast shit, right? And I put myself in a scenario of handling all the business, right? But at the same time, you eating. You get me? You eating. I'm not saying that you eating aggressively, but you eating, meaning that your shit is together.
Right.
In our situation, I can understand why you would want to know the business side, right? But if shit is popping off, and I told you, you know, little stuff that makes you understand why I don't really tell you about it, would you be mad at me? Would you want to know everything? I'm only asking that because I thought this would be an interesting way to go into if Joe Budden needs a lineup.
I think it's important that, especially when you're in business, I feel like it's important for. I don't think it was wrong for them to know what was going on.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's a show, it's a podcast that they all a part of, and it's a successful podcast.
Right.
I think a lot of times what people be failing to realize, especially when they don't handle the business side, they don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, everybody that has to get paid, everybody that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the end of the day, the podcast is Joe Budden's podcast, and Joe Budden is the reason why they eating how they are. And one thing that Joe Budden said is, I actually got y'all signed to a contract where y'all supposed to be making a certain dollar amount, and I'm paying y'all more than that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, in that case, it's tough, but to accuse, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know their side of the story, but I'm not gonna say accuse, but to imply that somebody is stealing, that's like me. If I was to come to you like, Gotti, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, I feel like I'm not getting paid or whatever. Like, you know, that I think that's how that happened, though.
And I'm only saying that to say, like,
it's from them not knowing, you know, just being in the blind.
And I'm only saying that to say, like, in our situation, if that was to happen where you was eating and I was taking care of the business side, I would understand that. But guess what? What if I came in as Joe Budden? Would you be questioning me? I'm only asking you that to have a real answer on that. If I came in with the glitching glasses already, because see, you see us building, right? My thing is, what if I came in already having everything established and you was getting a check? How would you, that's why I set it up like that. How would you feel about questioning me about the business? It's
tough to feel any way. Like, it's tough. It would be tough for me to feel any way because it's kind of like I'm kind of like riding your wave.
Right, and that's what these niggas did.
You get what I'm saying?
But I'm saying that's what nobody wants to see the setup as.
Yeah.
That's what these niggas did. He brought these niggas in knowing they had a talent.
I still don't know who these dudes are.
Yeah, but he brought these niggas in knowing they had a talent. But guess what? He was taking care of everything. All you had to do was really show up to work. So why would you question that? I think that's pretty much saying like, you got people in your ears telling you Joe Budden getting bread now, and you only making this. But guess what? You only making this is leading you to endorsement deals,
right?
Leading you to getting a consistent check, and leading you to have and leading you to have a safety net at the same time. Because guess what? You building your resources while these guests are coming on.
But this really what I had to ask. Like, I heard Joe Budden say something about chemistry and how you can't recreate chemistry.
Right.
So do you think that now that he fired those dudes and did it the way that he did it, do you think that his podcast is going to take a dip or is it going to be better than ever?
It's a possibility it can be better depending on how he market it. Because if you market it in a way of saying that you bringing new people on and your topics is hot, it's for sure going to boom. Especially he's the topic of discussion right now. People eyes is on him. Like
especially
his views,
if you talking about hooking back up with DJ Academics.
Yeah, but look, his views has actually risen. So it's the idea of now you're a popular topic of conversation, and you moving forward the future.
I didn't know Joe Budden podcast was doing that good. Honestly, they said this is number one.
Yeah, well, he said he wasn't doing good during the epidemic. He was leading towards other podcasts that was doing better than him, but he still was in the top 5. He said when he first started though, he was the only real podcast out, and it's the truth. The only person that was actually doing that type of radio was the Breakfast Club, but he started the podcast wave.
Yeah, for sure. When Joe Budden got paid, that's when everybody felt like, oh, I can do this shit too, for sure.
Yeah, because he was getting paid while Joe Rogan was getting paid. They had the top podcast in the nation at one point. Now it's fluctuating through the top 5 because now you have Noriega stepping it up.
That's crazy. That's crazy because we really can't sit here and say that Joe Budden really did crack this podcast shit off.
He really did.
It was people that had podcasts before him, but he the one that really like cracked it off. When he got his money
the hip hop community.
When he got that Spotify deal, that's when everybody was like, "Hey, I don't need to rap. I don't need to make music. Like I can make just as much money doing this shit." Like
right.
You know.
Nah, that shit. I just personally feel like with that being said, Joe Budden is the GOAT of this shit. These niggas was on some other shit where it's like you trying to
push him the GOAT.
Right now he is, bro. Honestly, when it comes
to that podcast.
I mean, bro, honest to God, bro, when it come down to it, Joe Budden, he was the hottest nigga during the podcast starting of this shit, bro. And it just went viral. He doing well. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give him that title for that. It's just like I gotta give Soulja Boy, he the GOAT of this marketing shit when it comes to social media. Nobody wanna give these GOATs. Yeah, but nobody wanna give these GOATs their flowers. I'm gonna give them his flowers.
I fuck with Big Soulja.
Alright. So our last topic of discussion for who needs a lineup, I think it's very interesting. When it come down to the shade room, this kind of where we get a lot of our topics at, right? But who do you think, and I mean this, who do you think is one of the hottest rappers right now? And then we're gonna go into who needs a lineup. Who do you think is the hottest rapper right now that's doing this shit out here?
Ooh. The hottest rapper? Like the number one?
Yeah, like who do you think is the hottest rapper out here right now?
I mean, you gotta go with, I have to go with Drake.
Ooh. You gotta go with Drake, right?
I have to go with Drake, but I gotta give, it's a lot of niggas that I think is like hot right now. Like Dirk. Lil Durk is flaming right now. Right. And I'm just a future nigga, bro.
I'm
just a future nigga. Whatever he drop, it's just like, I'm listening to it. Like I said, that nigga shit's like scripture to me, man.
So I seen something in the comments. That's why I'm saying I want to know who needs a lineup on this. Everybody is saying that the Baby is the hottest rapper worldwide.
The Baby?
The Baby. He's featuring on all the hottest.
He's not even the best Baby.
But I'm only
Lil Baby.
But I'm only saying that to say rapper, because I don't consider Lil Baby a real rapper. I think he's like more so like
the fuck.
He's like a Future, bro. Like those ain't rappers to me. To me, I'm saying to me. They're not like rappers. They're like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're like
Have you listened to Lil Baby shit?
They're rappers.
Yeah, listen to them, but it's like I said, bro. They're not. They're singing. They're with they're sappers. I don't know. They're sappers. They're singer rappers.
But Drake is a rapper then?
Drake is a rapper and a singer. But the thing is, Drake is a rapper.
Because he really actually do both.
I'm saying Future actually stays in one lane.
He really actually do both.
But I'm putting it like this. They said the baby in the comments, right? I was like, the baby. This is what I was saying on the baby. But guess what? He has been on almost a lot of #1 hits right now. Mm-hmm. He did the Rowdy Rich shit, that Rockstar, Throw Baby. This nigga
that remix is fire.
Yeah, Throw Baby. And then he was on a remix of Jack Harlow shit, bro. That what's going on, what's happening, something. He's been doing some hot shit though. So I'm saying, I don't know. Lil Baby might be one of the hottest rappers though worldwide because everybody knows the baby. Lil Durk is now coming to the West. I don't think Lil Durk been on the West. Like, I don't think I've ever heard a Lil Durk song until he jumped on that song with Drake. I'm being realistic with you. I've heard his shit, but I wasn't really listening to him. When it come down to, like you just said, Future is hot as fuck down south and the West. But the East Coast, a lot of people listen to him, but he not really like bro, he's not their artist, you know? Like, he's not the artist they gonna listen to all the time.
Who, Future?
Yeah, on the East Coast. Down south, he hot. On the West Coast, we fuck with him because he toxic. That's something that we fuck with. But I'm only saying that to say the way how these rappers is marketing is crazy.
But I had somebody from DC come in here the other day, and I cut his hair. He said he hate LA music. Like,
I believe that.
He hate all that shit, like YG, Blast, Bino, and all them shit. He hate it.
But that's what I was gonna say. Do you think we deserve a lineup for making some of these rappers the best? That's really not giving us nothing to have substance though. Cause I choose Drake. I think Drake have a lot of substance music. But when it come to the hottest rappers we have right now, these niggas ain't it.
Yeah, they really don't.
Like, Lil Baby don't really have no substance. He talk about some real shit, but at the same time, what is the motivational behind it? Like, Drake be saying some shit, make a nigga want to get some money.
Drake gonna say some shit, right. Drake is gonna say some shit that other rappers are never gonna say.
Right.
Like, I feel like Drake is the best because I feel like he's the most transparent.
Right.
I feel like if Drake is in his feelings, he gonna let you know about his feelings.
Right.
If he wanna make a song and he wanna give a shout out to his mom and his dad, he gonna shout out and he gonna tell you how he feel about his mom and his dad.
Right.
He gonna tell you how he feel about his baby mama.
Right.
He gonna tell you how he feel about his kid. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just like, he the most transparent to me, and I feel like he's the most relatable. Like, it's like people try to take shots at Drake, but it's like Drake has been the only nigga that probably really didn't keep it real out of everybody since day one.
But a lot of people in the comments were saying that the baby was...
The baby talk about the same shit.
Look, I'm not trying to be funny, but the baby was the best rapper, and I'm just saying, he might be the best rapper to the younger generation.
The baby is the female Meg Thee Stallion.
Right now, for sure. Because Meg Thee Stallion is the hottest female
All the baby talk about is fucking.
Right.
And he talks about it very well. You get what I'm saying? He talks about it very well, how he put them words together. And if you got a song like that that's talking about that type of shit, you might want to go get the baby and put it on there, and it's gonna be fire. But he's talking about the same shit.
He do, and he sound the same. I feel like he rapped the same verse on every song. It's just me though. All right, so moving forward, how do you feel about the whole thing that we posted on our IG right now?
Which is what?
You can go ahead.
No, I'm saying what?
No, I'm saying I could record it back. If you want to tell them to turn this shit down.
Oh, no.
Alright. So I posted on our page, you know, what do women pretty much bring to the table? But I was basically having a debate in my DMs about women bring a lot to the table. Mm-hmm. Holly actually agreed with me and said I can't even go against that. But I had some women that are in denial, that's what I'm going to say, that women bring a lot to the table. I'm not saying that.
I don't think they're in denial, but
I think they're in denial.
No.
Because I think that the conversations that we were having were basically, you're making up shit that obviously is like, you're saying, if I was to be in that shoe, not what you bring to the table. You get what I mean by that? Like, you can't say, this is what a woman does, and not do it. You get me? That's the kind of debates I was having, was like, okay, if you're in a relationship with a nigga that's treating you well, what do you bring to the table? And they're like, well, a woman should. No, you don't start with what a woman should. What would you actually do 24/7 out of each day, out of 30 days out the month, out of 365 days out the year, realistically, and on a leap year? You get me? Like, tell me what the fuck you gonna do. Don't tell me what a woman should do. And I think that's what's wrong with our generation. Like, a lot of women talk about what they should do.
I agree.
Because I feel like when it come down to what was said, it was like you should bring the same energy. You should also talk to your spouse about, I'm just saying, bring the same energy to the relationship. You should talk to your spouse about a business plan. You should actually create your spouse to have those emotional connections that y'all can have that conversation with, you feel me? And a lot of women don't kind of understand that portion because it's all about them.
I don't think it's that. I think because men don't allow that emotional wall to be broken down. So that could be where the disconnect is.
Men don't have that emotional wall to make women break that down so that they can find that part of them. That's what you're trying to tell me?
Basically, sometimes some men aren't like that. They're so guarded. And like, so when I try to be emotionally connected to you and spiritually, like you just kind of like
so
sweep it under the rug.
Men ain't transparent enough for a woman to bring those qualities to,
Not
to
all
the
the
relationship.
time. Not all the time.
I disagree.
Not
I
all the
disagree.
time.
I'm gonna tell you why. I disagree. And I mean, I'm not trying to women bash because we're gonna talk about women that are. We're gonna talk about women that are great. That's what I wanted to start this conversation.
Yeah, you have a woman who's great.
Yeah, I got a woman that's great, and you know that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about great women, but I want to talk about this for our women listeners who always say, "Oh, we women bashing, and we don't never give women a chance to tell us what they bring to the table." But the reason why we had this podcast is to give this platform that men have feelings too that women don't consider that is actually brought to their attention before the dating starts. We tell a lot of women what we want before we get into relationships, and then it changes, and we have to try to find a different way to say it, if that makes sense. Because I feel like that's where this conversation is coming from.
You tell a woman what you want in what way?
So
like,
if you come into a relationship, this is what I'm saying. You dating a woman, obviously she getting to know you, right? Then you coming into the relationship. You're actually telling a woman what you want every time you go on a date. Then she actually asks you questions. If you're not asking me questions, obviously you don't want to know about me, right? But for the most part, who's asking the most questions? Women are asking because they want to know. Men asking too. Because we don't want to be out of the ordinary of saying we don't know something. But my whole thing is when you ask me certain things, you should take that into consideration and realize that when our relationship started, you should start doing those things and not stop doing them. Because remember we talked about always being able to date while you're in a relationship.
yeah, it's important.
Booyah. But I do have a question to pose to you, Ace. How do you feel about women these days when it come down to them bringing something to the table? Do you think a lot of women these days bring something to the table?
I think they bring it to the table more than what they ever have.
Yeah.
I think my thing is this. Why when we talk about bringing something to the table, it always got to be in reference to finance.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's what that post
And I
represented.
think that video with the young lady on it, and when she got so offended when a nigga asked, "What do you bring to the table?"
Right.
I think that was the problem. It's like she got offended because it's like every time you ask somebody, "What are you bringing to the table?" it's always about finances.
Right.
And my thing is, why not when a nigga asks you what you gonna bring to the table, why you just can't say, "I'm gonna just make sure you the happiest nigga in the world"? That's what I plan on doing.
If she says that, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
like when you ask her that, what do you expect
cool.
her to say?
Because that comes with everything comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel
everything
that
comes with
answer, but I want to hear exactly what I want.
Yeah, like what?
Everything comes with you making your partner the happiest person in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's putting together business plans or having business and having thoughts. But I think what was interesting on what Gotti posted was the thing that we look over is the spiritually and the emotional part of it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And the helping your partner build a business part.
I mean, right, you know, you see, but I think for the most part, a lot of us don't really know what we want. You get what I'm saying? So when we get into relationships, it be like you could get with somebody, or you can be attracted to somebody because they might bring something to the table that you thought you needed, but you didn't think about all the other things that you needed at the same time. You get what I'm saying? So when somebody asks you what you bring to the table, and you say, "Well, I'm gonna be that woman that's gonna be committed to make you the happiest person on earth." Right. You get what I'm saying? I feel like she's saying that whatever I'm not good, whatever I bring to the table is what I'm bringing, and whatever you see is what I'm bringing. But whatever I'm not good at, I'm willing to be better at it for the sake of this relationship.
So I heard a good quote that I was talking to one of my boys about today, and I thought it was dope. You know when you have a wife, when you're in a relationship, and she asks of you what you want from her, and she's willing to do those things. But when a woman comes in stubborn, you can't change her into being a wife. A woman has to want to be a wife. And I thought that that was interesting because if a woman wants to be a wife, she will do the things that you ask of her, whether it takes today or next week. But the principle is you see the development of her wanting to be a wife. But you know when you don't have a wife, when this girl is literally telling you, this is what it is and you gotta accept me as this.
Right.
So,
and that's what I'm saying. It's really like, because relationships, you get in a relationship with somebody and really y'all two totally different people.
right.
Y'all upbringing might be different. How your views on things, it might be different. You get what I'm saying? But it's the willingness to constantly get better. Cause like you, that shit you sent me today, the shit that Carrie Hilson said. It's like you can't love people how you think that you love. You get what I'm saying? You gotta love them how they need to be loved.
Right.
And that comes with you learning your partner and learning what they like and what they don't like. You learning what they go for and what they not gonna go for, and you having a willingness to get better at the shit. It's like if you in a relationship, you gotta constantly keep talking to somebody about the same shit. You get what I'm saying? And that's the stubbornness that you was talking about, and that shows a willingness to not get better. It's like, look, accept me for who I am and what I do, or get on. You know what I'm saying?
So something I wanted to shed light on is a lot of women ask, what do men want? That's a question that I want to answer tonight because there are a lot of women out there that be like, okay, y'all niggas always talking about this and this. What do you really want for us to be in a relationship? I think these are two major
Let me
things.
write this down.
Yeah, I think these are.
Nigga got the notepad.
On me, I think these are two major things that y'all need to realize about men that y'all don't understand. First of all, you want to know if your man is really attracted to you. So that means that if he's really attracted to you, that's going to be the first thing that you need to really keep up. I'm only saying that to say women don't really think about that. They be like, my man is going to accept me how it is. Sometimes a man is turned off by you not being the same person he met over a course of a year, meaning you haven't did what you did when he first met you. And then secondly, a big factor that women do not want to talk about is letting a man know what you want. Men are providers and protectors. They come into a relationship doing what you want, which means that you set the standard for the relationship, which means that now this man knows what you want. And if he's not doing those things, do not be with him. I feel like women sell a man a dream of saying, baby, or daddy, I'm gonna do whatever you want. And now this nigga doing A, B, C, D, and E. You ain't have no standards set in the beginning. So I'm only saying that those are the top two things for you to keep your man. I'm telling you the facts right now. You can't tell a man to change after he has already been who he was when he met you. Stop trying to do that. We can't change y'all. All we can do is try to tell you what we want, and you decide if you want to change. I'm only trying to give y'all game right now because I think that's why me and my girl work. When I first met her, I told her what I wanted, told her what I needed. I told her exactly what was the standards of like me dating as well. She told me what she wanted. She told me what she needed. So guess what we did for the remainder of our relationship? We held each other motherfucking accountable. If you're not holding each other accountable in the relationships, it's not gonna work.
God, he was.
Motherfucking message right there. I'm telling you. And I mean one of the key factor questions
Yeah, you right.
that I want you to answer, because they asked this question as well. What do you do to keep your man? Women want to know, what do you do to keep your man?
Okay, so the number one thing that I think is, when you say keep your man, right? You talking about prevent him from cheating and going out.
Can you do that?
And I want to reference this to keeping their man happy. What can you do to keep your man happy? That's what women want to know from us.
Okay, so no, I'm not gonna say number one, and this is not in no particular order.
Right.
But like you said, Gotti, like you gotta feel like your girl is popping.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, like you said, getting dressed up and doing that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's imperative. I think you gotta keep it fun. You gotta keep it fun. I gotta be able to have fun with you. I gotta be able to go out and have a good time with you, of course.
Right.
You don't want to be that girlfriend where your nigga's like, I'll leave her at home and I'm getting ready to go out with the homies.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now he out here in the streets.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And not saying that, you know, that a nigga can't control myself, but most niggas can't.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So when you put him out here to the wolves and y'all relationship really ain't right, and you know what I'm saying, the nigga he's gonna long for that. It's like, damn, I wanna have fun with my girl, I wanna go out with my girl, boom.
Right.
And then I think the number one, a lot of people might not say it, but you gotta have fun in the bedroom with your girl too, because I think that might be the number one thing to keep your man from venturing out. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because it's like, if I have all the fun in the world with my girl, it don't allow me the brain capacity to even think about doing that with somebody else. It's like, I gotta go out here and work for some shit, right? I gotta go out here and work for some shit and try to impress another girl just to get her in the bed when I have...
The homegirl said this ain't it. She gotta teach a class.
I have fun with my girl. You get what I'm saying? I have all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's one. And I think just being there. I'm reciprocated energy. You know, just whatever you give, just give it back in return.
Yeah. So in general, you want to wrap it up with basically saying, to keep your man, you gotta low key give them the same energy and have fun in the bedroom.
Yeah, because most people want to say is that you feed them and fuck them, but it's like every girl got a vagina and most girls cook. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not really the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not really what it is. It's more to it, and the more to it is being able to be friends with your girl, being able to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Being able to handle business at the same time. And if my shit is popping at home, I don't have no reason to look elsewhere and want to do nothing with nobody else.
All right, so I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound like woman bashing, cause I know what we posted is what I meant. What do women bring to the table? What do women bring to the table? So I'm gonna tell you what I think that other women bring to the table, and why a lot of these women feel like niggas is just expecting too much of them. Because I think females believe that dudes expect too much of them, right? And I'm talking about females with no kids. Because I know women with kids, y'all deserve all rights to think niggas expect everything from y'all. And that's a whole nother...
Well, why though?
We're going to have a whole nother show on
Why
that.
do they have the right to think that?
They have the right. They brought our children into this world. So I'm going to give them that power right now. You might dismantle it because I know how you are. But I do want to talk about this, right? What do women bring to the table? And honestly, majority of these women, they bring stress. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I was not expecting this nigga to say that.
I'm gonna say you bring stress, because this is what I wanted to mention, what we talked about on the post. I really don't need you if I got my life together. What you really bringing to the table is you either gonna take the load off of me, or you gonna give me some punani. That's the reality of a man. I'm not talking about a boy, a little boy. As a man, what can a woman bring to the table for me? I feel like you gotta bring the same type of energy that I'm bringing to the table, and we built from there. You get me? So my whole thing is, when I say stress, let me elaborate, because women like, damn, nigga, stress. First of all,
ooh,
I'm
gonna say some shit. I'm gonna say some shit, and I don't want to like lose my train of thought. So go ahead.
Nah, go ahead and say it, because I really do have a lot to say about stress.
Because this is what I was gonna say. I just women need to understand this. Just like women are not trying to be the women of old,
right,
and stay at the house and do all the house chores and be house women,
right.
Like men, we're really not trying to be the men of old,
right.
We're not trying to be like I said. It's a whole bunch of shit that's based off of whether you can pay bills or whether you can do that, and we're not necessarily we're not looking to be those men anymore. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Right.
We're looking to be the men that we can get together with somebody.
Right.
A partnership.
And build with somebody, like a partnership. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, like he was saying, like if I'm in a relationship and I like, we want women to do the same thing for us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily get flowers, but it's like we want to know. Oh, and I forgot to say this too on the last one. Number one, how women keep your man is make him feel wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Make him feel wanted. I
That's
cannot forget
that's our
that.
number one rule.
I cannot forget that. You gotta make him feel like you want this nigga, like sexually and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make him feel like he's that nigga, like he's the nigga that you want. And,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying?
Well, what I was gonna say is, what stresses niggas out? First of all, when y'all come to the table, y'all really don't bring nothing. No women want to hear that. You really don't bring nothing, because our first date, we paying.
We bring something
No, but
because
just,
y'all are...
just hold on. But just hold on. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
What y'all bring to,
This is
what most women bring to the table, which they don't want to hear, is, oh yeah, I look good and you like me. Okay. To me, that's nothing at the point, because it's like, first of all, this is the table we come into for the first time. So you don't bring shit. I'm the one that's bringing everything to the table because I'm trying to get you, right? That's how y'all feel. We the hunters, we getting y'all. Understandable. So now I'm going into let's date. Now the expectations for dating is crazy, because guess what? We didn't ask nothing of you but your time. Just listen to what I'm saying. All we want is your time, right? Time is money, all that. Yeah, I get that. But guess what we doing during that time? We getting to know you, right? But guess what the expectations is for us already that we know from the day we went on that first date? We got to make sure we protectors. We got to make sure we providers. Now we just got to see where your head at. So now we start to realize who you are. We get into that stage of saying, okay, we might end up having sex, right? This is the purpose that I'm trying to get to. Once we have sex, if we have not built a connection, listen to me now, and connections is big. That's the reason why relationships happen, right? If we did not build a connection, meaning that I trust you, why are you mad that I don't want to talk to you anymore? You didn't bring nothing to the table. Now, if the pussy was good, now you brought something to the table. I'm just being realistic, what women don't want to hear.
See, but I gotta stop you right there. Because you just said something. If the pussy is good, now you bring something to the table.
And guess what? That's
So
all
this
they
is-
had to bring to
no,
the table.
so
That's
this-
where I was going with that.
so
But
look,
you go ahead.
So look, this is why women think that pussy is a gift.
It's a gift.
Because niggas say shit like that.
It's a gift. But I'm telling you that this is the
That's-
best. But I'm
sex
telling you,
is not-
this is what makes niggas
Sex is-
grab that girl and say, "You're my girl."
Sex
though."
is
But that, you
supposed-
can't even sit up there and say
Sex
that
is supposed to be the
because-
culmination of your connection.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
like-
saying? It's not supposed to be. Sex is not supposed to be something that you're bringing to the table.
See, but you
It's
talking
supposed
about,
to be.
see, but you
It's
talking
supposed
about,
to be a culmination
you
of your
talking about-
connection with somebody.
But you talking about this in the philosophical sense. I'm talking about this in reference to me meeting a girl, knowing who you are, and still having expectations that this nigga need to bring something to the table. Because women come in saying, "What can this nigga do for me?" Yes, so we come in saying, "I know I gotta be a provider. I know I gotta be a protector." So guess when we get to that stage of crossing over to a relationship, I couldn't even ask you what you was bringing to the table, because the number one reason is I can't really ask you this because you're not my girl. So guess what? When we have sex, now at least I have the opportunity to ask you, can you be my girl? Because we just had sex. And now I get to ask you, what can you bring to the table? But during that shift of me just getting some sex from you, what if I don't want to ask you what you bring to the table because the sex was trash and we didn't build no connection?
Right, but I think that's where we gotta hold ourselves accountable. We gotta
do.
date like them.
We do, but that's what I'm saying. What do they really bring to the table? I don't think that Holly's here.
See, this the thing.
No, Holly's here during that stage of dating. This is what I'm asking you. What do women really bring to the table besides that first time that we have sex with you?
Well, obviously, because you asked me out, it's something that is within me that you want to get to know, right?
Right.
So before you even hit or anything, so my conversation is what I brought to the table.
Facts.
My energy is what I brought to the table. My time is what I brought to the table.
Facts.
My obviously interest in you. That is initially like, so when you say once you smack and it's over, you don't want to talk to her no more, like how can you even?
So she said they brought their time, they brought their effort, and they brought conversation to you asking them out.
All that's something that me
Okay,
can bring.
okay, I can. Okay, this.
We can't say I'm giving you my time.
No, but I'm saying I get that. I'm not gonna say I dispute that, right? But the question here is, what do women bring to the table when it comes down to now that portion of equal energy?
Look, I'm about to answer
That's
that.
what I'm asking you.
No, I'm about to answer that. The thing is, like I said, we have to start dating like them. Like you said, when we come in, we're just looking for a connection.
Right.
We're just looking to see if we can bring if we can get a connection. We're not asking of anything from a woman.
That's all
Right.
right.
We're not asking about what they can do for us financially.
Thank you, Holly.
We're not asking about what they can do for us mentally, spiritually. Right. We're not asking that type of shit. You get what I'm saying? But you saying it's too soon, but I think women look for that.
But this is
on first dates, they trying to see, like, is this a nigga that I could potentially see myself with?
I think what's most important on a first date is connection.
So what's important on the first date is connection.
Period. Because you can take me to the most fanciest restaurant, right? If we're not connecting, we're not going out again. You can take me to the barbershop. I'm waiting on you to, and somehow our plans didn't fall through, but we had a good time. You're gonna get a next date.
And that's the connection I'm speaking of, right? Yeah. But my whole purpose of
some of these niggas don't got no mojo.
No, I'm saying a lot of dudes don't. A lot of dudes, I'm not even gonna lie, they're not built to be gentlemen and find out who a woman really is, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to say is, in the reference of passing that stage, because this is kind of where I'm going with this. Passing that stage, I don't really know what you bring to the table except for how you make me feel. This is where I'm going.
And that's important. You gotta feel good.
This is what I'm gonna ask you though. This is what I'm gonna ask you though. And I'm not trying to take up for the women, but I'm really trying to understand, what do we really bring to the table then?
I'm going there. So this is where I'm going with that. So first of all, I told you that there's two rules.
Bad as fuck.
I am.
No, you are. It's gonna make sense to you though. See, I like to stir up the pot.
Come on, stir it up.
Like the homegirl said. So I'm going here. I'm only saying this to say, first of all, you got a man that took you out. Okay. You already entitled. That's all I'm saying.
Whose fault is that?
It's not nobody's fault. Okay. I'm giving you the details here.
Okay.
Now,
calm down.
Now you see how you just said that. Naturally, a woman is gonna say, "I should be entitled, nigga. You asked me out." That's how a woman feels, right? Mm-hmm. So first of all, you coming in and you're paying for the dates. You're telling a woman what you might like. Y'all build a connection. Then y'all cross over to a relationship. This is where I'm going with this. Now it becomes a relationship. Mm-hmm. We just talked about what men want these days in 2021. Right. I'm sorry, 2021. Mm-hmm. We want a woman to give us the equal energy, but also we want to feel wanted, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're going into a relationship and you're telling her what you want. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. You're telling her what you want. Now, what is everything that you can tell a woman is what women might want to know, right? So now you're giving her things that you might like. What are those things? Let's think. What are things that we like? What are things that you might require in your what do you require in your relationship?
Like conversation. You talking about like on the first date?
No, I'm talking about now we're crossing over to a relationship because I'm going towards something that's going to be sick as fuck right now.
Oh, I just like me.
He said most important is making him feel good.
Yeah.
Like make him feel wanted and good.
Yeah,
like,
as long as you make me feel like I'm that nigga in your life, then I don't have no problems with making you feel the same. Okay. That's a reciprocated energy you're going to get from me.
But in general, what are those things? I'm just trying to go there. What are those things that you might say is a reciprocal of a standard that you might have for a relationship? Like, what are things that you set on?
On making me feel wanted?
Okay, for example, for me, if I'm going into a relationship, I'm not paying for everything. Mm-hmm. That's not something I'm going to stand on because I don't know where my finances is going to be. Right. And if my finances is there, I'm the type of nigga that's going to take care of it. I'm only telling you this so that you're aware that I'm not going to just pay for everything. Don't think that of me. I'm not sure.
I don't think no woman.
No, I'm just saying these are things that I require. You know?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like because I feel like I'm that type of nigga. I feel like I'm not gonna necessarily say it's an obligation, but I feel like if my girl with me, like and we doing shit, like I want to pay for shit.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's where I'm going with that. I'm gonna do that. I'm only saying that to say I have a few standards. That's why I was actually with
I absolutely get where you coming from because the finances can fluctuate. But I feel like it's important that when you in a relationship with somebody and your finances do go up and down, you know what I'm saying, then that might be the time where it's like, look, I understand what's going on, let me step in and do my thing.
Yeah, but
I think that's the team aspect.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm only saying that to say, like, we're gonna establish that as a boundary for me though in a relationship. And then secondly, what I really want that niggas don't want to usually talk about because it's very awkward is we need to have sex. That's something that needs to be on the table. And then lastly, what women don't want to hear, which is another one, is tell me when I'm wrong and accept it if you're wrong. Tell me when I'm wrong and accept it when you're wrong.
Wait, so you're saying women can't tell y'all?
No, I'm
when y'all
saying
wrong?
tell me when I'm wrong
Okay.
and you accept when you're
When
wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay.
Right.
Because I think those are 3 things that make the relationship go.
For you.
No, I'm only saying in general. I think those
You
are.
can't say in
things.
general. That's
I
for
think
you.
for a lot of
I'm
people,
only-
like
I'm
taking
only-
accountability is a standard.
Yeah, but those
Like,
3.
in
But
all
those 3.
relationships.
Yeah,
Because we grown. You know, everybody is grown.
Right, all
So
relationships.
Right, but I'm
if you
saying-
wrong, then you should be able to say that. If I'm wrong, I should be
but
able
I'm
to say
saying
that.
the top 3 things that niggas leave or women leave for is finances, sex, and then miscommunication.
Finances.
Are you listening to me? Finances, sex, and miscommunication. So
Straight.
what I'm trying to say is, with the finances, you have to establish what you're going to be doing reasonably between each other. You need to know if you guys are having good sex, which means that y'all need to know each other's bodies. So that needs to be something that's happening and talked about. But lastly, when I speak about when I'm wrong and you're wrong, that's the reason why people break up. You can't stick in your mindset and not think like me if I'm right, and you can't do that vice versa. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only saying that to say, like, those are top 3 things that I have in my mindset. But now where I'm going with that
Those are the things.
but these are the things, what I'm saying, that women do not comply on. Why don't women comply on these things? There are women who will not pay the rent. I'm just saying they won't pay the rent because guess what? You're the man. I'm saying that to say, like, that's in their mind. I'm not saying that all women are like that.
Because
but there are
you
women.
said earlier, I'm a man, I'm a provider, I'm a yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
yeah, but I'm
so
saying, you
when
heard
she's
what I
looking
said.
for her man to be the man, the provider, the yada yada yada,
Yeah.
why does it change?
It doesn't
Like-
change. Did you hear what I said in the beginning? I'm going to discuss with you about my finances. That's me, though. But I'm saying the reason why this needs to be established in the beginning of the relationship is because guess what? I didn't even know that you were going to be able to bring this to the table, and you don't even talk about it. Secondly, we haven't talked about sex. That's not being brought to the table. Now that I'm asking you about it, you have all these other conversations around it. Then lastly, when I talk about I'm right and you're wrong, you're telling me the reason why you're right because of how you feel and not what's logical. So my whole principle behind that is these are things that women don't even bring to the table in the beginning of the relationship, not the dating part.
So you saying accountability?
Accountability is
In
big.
sex and finances, what we don't bring.
Women do not want to admit that part of it, though. You get me? They don't want to admit that part of it because guess what? It's fucking invisible. We're providers and protectors. It's invisible. So this
And like this is what I be trying to tell people. This like it was a question where you was like, how do you keep your man, right?
right,
And I tell people this all the time, like
right,
sex is the biggest seller in the world, right? Sex is the biggest drug in the world. It's not love.
I think it's love,
sex.
but
It's
okay.
sex because people cheat on people they love for only sex.
right.
Like, oh, I didn't have no feelings for her. I just had sex. You get what I'm saying? And so, I think what Gotti is saying is you get into a relationship with somebody and, like I said, like it's the honeymoon phase.
Right.
And y'all doing it all the time. And sex is a drug, remember? So now, he's addicted and he likes how it's going in the beginning. You get what I'm saying? I love how this is going in the beginning, and now you're seeing yourself like I can do this.
And it's fading away.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm on the highest mountain, right? And then that gets snatched away from you. So now you just left your man without his drug.
Right. He's
You
like,
get, so what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think happens
he gonna
when
relapse.
the nigga's trying to get his drug?
He gonna do something strange.
You get what I'm saying?
Not
and so-
a piece of change, though.
And so, like I said, you got a lot of people out here in relationships and they're not even having sex with their mate.
That's not a relationship.
Yeah, but then it's not just about sex, like you said. I'm just saying, just say finances, right? There are women who are going to leave you if you're falling through a phase of life, which means that I'm not saying that you're not communicating. This could be a communication type of situation, but guess what? she might be more turned on by the money around her. You get what I mean? Like, she's seeing what other women are receiving, and she might know niggas that got bread. So what happens in that sense is like, okay, now I'm really asking myself, what are you bringing to the table if this is all you really care about? Because these are 3 things I'm really delaying on saying women need to be mindful about. Not saying all relationships are like this. You have to make sure that you're giving a nigga some ass. I'm not saying lazy ass. Have fun in the bed. You gotta make sure that when it comes to finances, that you have your nigga back. You can't make a nigga feel like he just, because right now some people probably saying I'm cheap. Somebody out there like, this nigga cheap as fuck.
Nah, nigga, you doing what works for you.
For y'all,
like,
because y'all matter. Y'all
it's
are
not
most
necessarily
important,
cheap because
so.
it's
Nah, but I'm saying some women might.
I'm
I'm saying there's some women who might say I'm cheap, but I'm saying that needs to be communicated. I need to talk to you about finances because I'm not a cheap nigga. But guess what? I gotta see how you work your money. You gotta see how I work my money. My whole thing is I'm not gonna always do the same things I did in the beginning because guess what? We have bigger things we're planning for, or we have more important stuff that we need to spend our money on, rather than us talking about something that you always was receiving at first. Be mature about that. Like you made a statement that I didn't say nothing about. You said, "Oh, how come you was doing all this in the beginning, but you ain't doing it now?" Let's talk about that. Women don't want to talk about that though. How about I start telling you, hey, guess what? I'm paying all the rent. How about I'm paying the car notes? I'm paying the insurance. That's why we can't go here. And then you telling me, oh, okay. Then you sit there and you start thinking about it. This nigga ain't got no money. How the fuck I don't have no money when I'm taking care of business though? You get me? Then when the business is ran out, I'm telling you what I can do. How am I the nigga that's cheap? I'm communicating with you. There are women who gonna leave you for that though. Then when we're having a conversation.
She just wasn't the right one though.
Yeah, no, but I'm only saying now that we're having a conversation, how about you put yourself in my shoe? Because guess what? Most men have to put themselves in the woman's shoe. We have to understand what you guys are really saying. And we have to really consider having emotion for it, whether we believe it's logical or not. Women don't ever really come to our side unless they was raised around men.
You can't say women like that.
Unless they were raised around men. I think a lot of women that has not been raised around men are very close-minded towards certain things. Like if I tell this is the number one thing that I think women have a problem with too. I'm sorry I have a lot to say tonight. Because I got some stuff on my chest. Because I was having a conversation with a lot of people in the DMs about what they can bring to the table. I think a lot of women get this miscommunicated that most men are supposed to agree because there is a saying, happy what?
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. So that means that women already have that to imply that they're always going to be right.
I don't think so, but go off.
Holly said she don't think so.
Mm-mm.
But everything is built around women being right.
I think, like you said, man. I think that's the major part of being a team. Like I relate everything to sports,
right?
And that's what I think. That's why I find so much beauty in sports. It's like when your
happy house, happy spouse.
Yeah, when your teammate is down, you pick your teammate up.
You always supposed to.
And it's like, and I feel like I hear this saying all the time. It's like, oh, we supposed to know women bodies and we supposed to know when they into something and when they not into something. Yeah. But at the same time, women is supposed to know, you supposed to know your mate too. So you supposed to know when he down. You supposed to know when he going through something. And we gotta read y'all. And we gotta read y'all minds and y'all bodies. Y'all should be able to pay attention to y'all man and see the same thing and know when to step in, because that's what makes a team. You get what I'm saying? That's what makes it feel like it's a team. Like like we together out here. Right. And I feel like once you get that going, like this, we together. Like no matter what happened, if I do fall, you get what I'm saying? Or if my finances not right at this time, then I still have somebody that I can depend on. That when we get right back up, it's cracking again. But I know I'm gonna sound contradicting, but there are great women out there. I'm only going off the idea of how women think that goes into relationships that might not keep a relationship or might wonder what went wrong. Yeah, go ahead. I just think that we need to focus more on building relationships with each other instead of worrying about the financial part from the jump. Right. You get what I'm saying? It's nah, bro. Nah.
I'm not gonna say that because we talked about how women come into this site of seeing us as a certain person if we doing certain things. So we have to establish kind of that middle ground that we're not gonna be doing all this shit for you in reference to saying like I'm gonna be tricking. Cause I think women have that perception these days, especially younger women. Like if you see a nigga with a nice car, some bread, you might have that perception of him. I'm just saying that he gonna be providing for you for the rest of your life. Cause we talked about it. Women kind of playing when they meet you on the first date on what they want from you and what they gonna take from you in some sense.
No, the reason why I was saying this is because I had a conversation with my girl. You know what I'm saying about the same thing. And you know what I'm saying. A lot of women think that because they're laying down with you or having sex with you, that you are supposed to be able to do something or provide for them.
Right.
When in all actuality, if we building and we focus on building a relationship and building a camaraderie, then we're both doing for each other. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like sex with a woman is looked at as a gift. So they think that they giving you this in return for whatever you're giving them that they want. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. Like I think if you focus on building a relationship with somebody, I feel like all of that stuff is gonna come. Like if I feel like I have a teammate, if I feel like I have somebody that I'm in this together with, then money is not an issue. It's not a problem. I don't care. Like you spend money, you get money. You get what I'm saying? Fuck it.
Yeah, that come with connection. Like you said, it come with connection. Like. If you are doing your part and I'm doing my part, it shouldn't be no problems. I feel that. I'm only trying to say that because that's why I'm talking tonight. I feel like it's a lot of women.
I think the communication part.
See, Holly don't want to hear that because Holly gives me all the eyes.
I think it's understanding our parts.
Your mind is made up, so I don't have anything
No, because I just feel like there are women who come into the relationship part wanting, and they already don't even understand that this dude just chased you and he gave you his time too and everything you just said, and it's mutual because I said I'm not going to go off the fact that you gave me your time or nothing, but now we're getting into a relationship and guess what, your expectations might grow higher and my expectations is trying to start. That's literally where I'm trying to go with this. My expectations are just starting and yours are already higher. Cause guess what niggas is doing in most relationships? Keeping it spicy.
Right, cause we really don't come in with many expectations. Bro.
We don't.
And I mean that's just a fact. We don't really come into a relationship. We don't come into a relationship with many expectations of a woman.
Yeah, Holly on me for sure. She on me, pun.
They said Holly gonna fire on you.
All I'm trying to say though is when it come down to relationships, cause I know this is where you say all women ain't the same. All women are not the same, but when it comes down to expectations, women expectations are from day one. I like how I wrap that up. They have expectations from day one. And all we're trying to do is get to know you. Isn't that deep?
Hey, I think you know that's something funny. I don't know if my girl watching or not, but fuck it, it's the truth. She asked me out on a date. And I still paid.
Damn.
I was gonna ask that. So if a girl asks you, well, you just answer.
If a girl asks me out on a date, do I
you
pay?
Pay or does she pay?
I have never paid on a date I've been asked on. I'm being realistic, because guess what
Is
I
that
said?
your expectation?
Always, because guess
But
what?
I think that's-
So how are you?
But I'm the type of nigga I feel like a man is supposed to pay.
No,
especially on the first
no,
date.
hold on. I'm gonna say, because that's where I'm gonna go. Niggas say I'm cheap. Let me tell you what happened.
But you just said expectations.
No,
Women
I'm
have
saying expectations. What this is, you asking me, what did I expect from a date that I was asked out on? I was expecting for her to pay, because guess what I said when she asked me, "Are you paying?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that's what we going with." The fuck you asked me out on a date? I'm gonna ask you if you paying, because guess what my expectations is.
But that's like,
You
so
asked
if
me
you
out.
ask me out,
No,
right?
listen to what I'm
but
saying.
no, hold on, I have
Go
to.
ahead,
I got, because I don't think I'm
Yeah,
following.
if I ask
If
you out,
you ask me out on a date and my next response is, "Are you paying?" What are you gonna say? How you gonna look at
I've
me?
been asked that before and
I'm
didn't
gonna
feel
look at you
anything.
crazy.
No, listen.
Right,
No,
'cause
listen.
what?
No, listen. I've been asked that before and didn't feel anything about it.
Are you still with the person
Am I with the person?
who said exactly?
Nah, I'm not.
That's a weird.
I'm actually with somebody who
what?
paid. I'm actually with somebody who paid for me, and I've been paying for everything since, because it was a great feeling. And I asked her if she was paying, and she said yeah.
That is
You had wifey
interesting.
there?
Yeah, she took me to hot and
She asked
juicy.
you on a
She took me to
your
Hot
first
and Juicy.
date.
Ah!
She asked you out on your first date.
She took me to Hot and Juicy.
But we got.
Let me ask somebody out there.
Hey, hold on. We got to. So look. To wrap up, takeaways. What would you have people take away from this conversation that you want them to take away?
I would have people take away that basically it's important for whoever that you in a relationship with to feel like y'all in it together. Like as long as I feel like I got somebody that's riding with me and dying with me, then we gonna ride and we gonna die. Like you get what I'm saying, and that's just what it is. Make your nigga feel wanted, have fun with your nigga, keep it spicy, and shit. Travel and do shit.
My takeaway is always make sure that you know that you need to have standards and you have to have expectations. And you have to be open-minded to it. You can't have expectations and expect somebody not to have expectations. And that's where I'm going with that. If you're going to bring something to the table, if you're going to ask somebody what they bring to the table, be sure to make sure that you match that energy and bring it to the table too. Thank y'all for tuning into the Black Barbershop. It's your boy Gotti. And it's your boy Ace. And we out of this bitch on this great thirsty Thursday. And y'all listening on